I'll tell you, I had just a small list. She was on Regis and Kelly this morning, America's Newsroom, Fox, Good Morning America, American Morning on CNN Today, The Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson, Letterman, The Tonight Show, Nightline, ABC News, Anderson Cooper on CNN, Larry King Live, Paul Zahn, The Situation Room, the only one that I actually watch, CNN Newsroom, every hour from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. and beyond, Hannity and Combs, On the Record with Greta Van Susteren, Scarborough Country, Countdown with Keith Olbermann.
Yeah.
You are hot.
And there's something seriously wrong with this picture.
Well, I'm a staple on that show.
Oh, he's got it in for you on O'Reilly.
Well, he feels angry.
He's very angry.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be all that?
Well, I didn't watch it, truthfully, because that's what I do when it gets noisy. I don't watch it, and I craft things. You know, I made a lot of lovely cards last night.
Does it make you anxious?
It doesn't make me anxious. It's just once you buy into it, then it gets in the hard drive of your brain, and you could go over it. It's like, you know, you don't want to. I just didn't watch it. But
how did you get onto the building yesterday?
Well, here's the weird thing.
Because it was crowded
Okay, so we had
outside.
2 shows yesterday, and we taped Friday's show, which is tomorrow, yesterday, and you must watch it because, first of all, Alec Baldwin came and spoke about the call to his daughter and the effect it had on him.
Very interesting interview.
Yes, and heartbreaking interview. And then afterwards, we had first responders from 9/11. Over 25,000 of them are seriously ill with this lung respiratory disease. Seriously ill, like debilitated for the rest of their life.
And they have federal funding that will be running out very shortly, so they won't have any money left to cure and help these people. No. And they're going to need help for the rest of their lives. It was really appalling to hear this.
It was very
well, then maybe
sad.
next time American Idol does a special, we can do it to the first responders.
That's
well,
right.
you know what? There should be
a telethon.
Yeah,
they certainly
We
could.
should do a telethon for the 9/11 responders.
It was heartbreaking because we had the 2 people who were on the show and the doctor in the audience, but during the commercial break, a woman stood up, 40 years old, crying, having a hard time breathing, with a Sears portrait photo of her daughters, who are like 7 and 5, and was crying and saying, "These are the victims of 9/11. I am dying. Who will care for my daughter?
When will the terrorism stop?
When will the terror end?" So, as I'm pulling out yesterday after this unbelievably emotional show, I'm at the top of the ramp and I look down and there must have been 65 press crews there.
Yeah. You couldn't even see through.
You couldn't even drive through. And in the rear view mirror, as they're attacking the car like I'm Lindsay Lohan or something, you know, as if they couldn't have just waited at Target and got a picture of me, you know. They're attacking my car, and I'm like, what the? I look in the rear view mirror and I see Vito with his oxygen tank.
The guy from 9/11.
The 9/11 responder. Getting into the car, trying to be helped into his car. And I am the focus of the attention in the media.
Well, that's the way it is.
Not this guy. And that's what's really wrong.
I know.
It's so wrong. And it's heartbreaking.
It's ironic because you really don't like that sort of thing, and yet you are the object of it.
I mean, it was insane out there yesterday.
I know, and I don't really understand
why. It is unfair because I think people care about people. Like, people want to hear about the real stories. And you are a huge story because you've been very controversial, but then also it's kind of scandalous, and they make more out of it than they should when there's actual heartfelt things that could be talked about.
But this is also a mouthpiece for a lot of news stories, too, where some opinion comes out, and, you know, we have, I think, really good conversations about newsworthy topics. So maybe I think your leaving is significant and does move a lot of people, you know, one way or the other, because you've been so charged and opinionated on so many things.
But I just think to be breaking news on CNN that an afternoon talk show host is not going to renew her contract after the next year.
But you're a big
That's
deal.
breaking news.
The best was that
International news.
my card went out first before hers. I went out, and so there's like tapping on the windows, and they're like, "Never mind, it's not her."
You're not really just an afternoon person, because remember when you came out and got married in San Francisco?
Yes.
Well, that was the beginning of the major controversy around you.
Right.
Nobody did that quite like that before.
Right.
So now you bring out the homophobes, the pro-gay writers, right people, all sorts of people who are rallying around that one issue.
Right.
And then you have people like O'Reilly who hate your politics, and that gives him a chance to talk.
He didn't hate my politics until we inadvertently brought up his scandal. And then he called the show and threatened that if we ever brought up anything about his scandal again, he would put us in his crosshairs.
Well, I got news for him.
Crosshairs was the word he used. I was like, this is Tony Soprano crap.
Right, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? And if it was James Gandolfini, I would have actually been afraid, but it was only Bill O'Reilly. So, you know, I mean, he's the guy from the next town. Between him and the dump truck, you know, the dump truck was on all of those shows.
Oh, he grabbed a piece of this like
oh my
that.
God.
Is that what you call him? The dump truck?
Well, because my kids, they don't watch TV. They were listening to the radio, and they had it on, and my boy is 7. He goes, Mama, I heard on the radio some man with a dump truck wants to take your money. You know?
Dump truck.
Yeah, the dump truck. That's when he was saying he was going to sue me and take all my fat money away from me. It's funny. He hasn't sued me. Odd. Shocking, even.
Well, he went on every show.
I know.
On every show
I
to
know.
say how irrelevant we are.
Yes.
That was his thing.
Yes.
And he even actually took a shot at me because I took a shot at The Apprentice yesterday. I know it's tit for tat.
What did he say about you?
Oh, he said I had no talent. But it's fine. I don't care. I know I have talent.
But he has talent.
That's my joy.
The thing about him is that, you know, Steve gets mad.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure Kelly gets mad. Like, I'm sitting there saying, what an A he is, you know?
Yes, right.
And Steve's like, you know, I'm going to kick his ass. I wish I'd go to see him. You know, it's
Steve is
like
so peaceful.
Steve is like the Jewish mafia, okay?
My brother Timmy is like that, too. My brother Timmy's a big guy. He's in, you know, construction. He plays hockey. He's really big.
Yeah.
He called me up last night. I swear to God, Ro, I hear that guy one more time, I'm going to show up at one of those offices with the big gold letters, and let's see him say that. It almost sounded like I cursed, but I didn't. I just said the it part, but you got the point.
Your brother Eddie sounds very much like my Aunt Julie.
That's Timmy. That's my brother Timmy. Yeah, my brother Timmy. But, you know, it does say something that the guy's a businessman, and this is what he does with his free
Well,
time.
this is how he
surprised he
keeps
doesn't have
himself
things to
afloat.
Yeah, well,
whatever.
and he's got an interesting new hair color.
Agent
Jello
Orange.
orange, apparently. I don't know.
I'm going to say Agent Orange.
It's the least offensive thing about him, really.
Yeah, it is the least offensive thing. He's casting moral aspersions with his history. I think it's kind of comical. All the men yelling at all the women. As usual, we're going to take a break, be back with more hot topics right here on The View with Rosie and the girls.
Tomorrow on The View,
I don't want to get emotional about this.
Alec Baldwin's revealing what took him to the edge and had him leave his infamous voicemail rant to his 11-year-old daughter.
I took it out on the wrong person.